Orientation. My name is Chris, and I'll be your orientation leader today. I have some name tags for you. So Ovi, Sam, Liza, and Jennifer. I'd like to start with a quote by Amy Teagarden I acquired from BrainyQuote.com, which I accessed April 29th of this year. No matter where you grow up, you go through the same awkward situations of being a teenager. We have all been through awkward situations and will for the rest of our college career. I know everyone in this group is probably wondering why we're starting off with awkward situations and an orientation. But today we're going to start with an icebreaker where we're going to talk about some awkward situations that we've all been through, and just to make it easy, we're going to do examples that have happened to me recently in the past year. Like waving to someone that you don't know, going into the wrong classroom, when you're called on in class by a teacher and you don't know the answer, or when you're with a friend and they're talking to somebody that you don't know. Now that we've established the icebreaker and that we all go through awkward situations, let's start with something that just happened to me yesterday. I was walking down the street when I waved to someone I thought I knew, and when they came closer, I had no idea who they were. Has anyone ever been through this?
I have.
Alright, why don't you tell us about it, Jennifer?
Have you guys ever done that by any chance?
Yeah.
Oh my God. It happens to me a lot, so I'm a person that you guys can come to when it comes to awkward situations, someone waving at you. This awkward situation has happened to me several times, and I'm the girl to tell you how to play it out. But first, let me give you a little information on why that happened and why it happens. According to People Who Look Like Me, a book by Alice Shaw, published in January 1st, 2006, there are at least 6 people that look like you, and it's a 50% chance that you might encounter them in your lifetime. That means it's not weird if you find someone that looks like you. I also found out that according to Alice Shaw's book, People Who Look Like You, humans are 99.9 identical in DNA, and the 0.1 is what makes us different. Yeah. It's 0.1% that gives us our unique appearance. Studies published in the October 2006 issue of the Journal of Science showed that our brains are particularly altered to respond to details and faces. So how do we play this awkward situation out? Does anybody know how?
I just keep walking. I would.
Well, you just keep waving, and at the end of the day, they end up feeling more awkward because they would think that you're waving at them instead of, like, hi, or something.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's how you play it out.
That's some great information, Jennifer, and a great example of how to get through it. Now let's move to something that happened to me, which was I was in class, and the teacher called on me, but I didn't know what the answer was. It was really awkward, and I didn't know how to handle it. Has anybody been through that?
I have. Have any of you guys ever been sitting in class and a teacher calls on you and you don't know the answer?
Always.
This catches you completely off guard and you don't know the answer to the question. It can be also a very awkward and embarrassing situation. Virginia T., author of well-researched 2015 study evaluating the relationship between boredom and academic outcomes, argues that almost all students complain at least occasionally that they've been bored in class or while studying. Some ways that you can avoid this awkward situation is to become more focused and attentive in class. You can participate in class discussions and join in on class activities. Another way to avoid being called on and not knowing the answer to the question being asked because you weren't paying attention or you were zoning out is don't watch the clock. This can make time go by a lot slower than it actually is. But then some people might also consider, what if you're not zoning out and you're not bored, and you actually just don't know the answer to the question being asked, because anyone ever just zoned out in class? Yeah, right. To avoid this awkward situation, simply become more educated on the material being taught. You could visit your professor during office hours, talk to teaching assistants for help, form study groups, or get yourself a tutor, states an article on universitylanguage.com, access April 29, 2015. So next time the teacher calls on you guys, you're going to know the answer. If you just stay focused, positive, and confident. You should know your strengths, and a good tip is to avoid any technological distractions such as text messages, social media, and emails. These can wait until after class because I know we do that all the time.
Yeah, definitely.
Thanks, Sam. That was some great information that I didn't know. Now, ECC is a big campus compared to where you were at high school. So going into the wrong classroom probably happens pretty often. I know it did for me when I first got here. I don't know if any of you have done it, but I sure have.
Me right here. I just walked into the wrong classroom a minute ago. But according to Elgin EDU accessed on April 29th, 2015, there are actually over 140 courses available at BCC, which makes it easy to walk into the wrong classroom. But what some people may fail to realize is that the stress and anxiety of being at a new and bigger school plays a big part. When it comes to distractions, according to a college health assessment done by the American College Health Association in about 2014, accessed on April 29, 2015, 86% of college students have felt overwhelmed, and 81% of college students have felt exhausted. That's a lot. So next time you walk into the wrong classroom, just turn around and walk right back out, because you are first and you definitely will be last.
I did not know that there were that many courses here at ECC. That's a lot. Now this one actually happened to me last week. Me and my friend were out on the mall, walking around the mall, and he walked up to somebody, and I had no idea who they were. And he just started a conversation, forgot to introduce me, and I didn't know what to do. So, do any of you have any tips for if that happens to any of us again?
I do. Whether you're at school or work or any kind of event, for that matter, you're likely to come in contact with people that you don't know. Now, people come up to you all the time at parties or whatever kind of event, and they would like to talk to you because you're awesome. But you may or may not want to talk to them. So, in case you don't want to talk to them, I have some tips for you. You could just tell them to go to hell or other bad places, but that can, create an awkward situation and doesn't make you look good. So, if you're looking for a classier way to deal with this problem, Marie Sabat, an author, wrote a book which I accessed on May 4th. She says the classic extra strategy out of a conversation you don't really want to be in. It's been nice talking to you, nice meeting you. If someone says that to you, you're pretty much going to say bye and walk away, right? Well, however, not all people think like that. So if a person persists, talking to you, you can just a good thing to come up with is a reason for leaving. You could say you gotta go make a phone call, you need to go get a drink, you need to visit the bathroom, you need to talk to somebody. Maybe I'll just see you later. Good things to say. Now at this point, most people will probably take the hint and leave you alone. Well, there are ones that are not going to take the hint, and they're basically asking for you to be more direct. One thing you can do is just say, "Sorry to cut you off. I need to go." That way, you're still nice, and you end the conversation. You just walk away. If the conversation doesn't end there, and they're still trying to talk to you, then it's okay to call the police at that point. Alright, so now I'll show you some ways to, get out of awkward situations the nice way. There are also more extreme ways to get out of awkward conversation. According to CaptainAwkward.com, which I accessed on May 3rd, a nice way to just end any conversation is just pretend you're choking on your drink. Laugh out really loud. Get really angry or really emotional. Faint. Pretend like you're throwing up. Or just simply lie on the floor. Now, I hope some of these tips will help make your college life a little bit smoother.
Thanks, Obi. I don't know if I would do all of those examples, but I sure know I am awesome. Alright, well that was good for the icebreaker, guys. But before we take the tour, let's recap what we went over. We went over what happens when you wave to somebody that you don't know and how to get past it. When you walk into the wrong class at a big university. Or when the teacher calls and you doesn't know the answer and you don't know the answer. And lastly, when you're with a friend and they're talking to someone you don't know. Now we all had great ideas to get past these situations. And even if you find yourself in an awkward situation, it's okay, because Joanne Beard reminds us in her book, In Zanesville, published in 2011, within the souls of the awkward and overlooked, often burns something radiant.